What is your gender?
My gender? I'm a mechanic.
At this point, even if you live under the rock, you probably heard of a new Zelda. And if you haven't, it's the second best-selling and second best critically reviewed game of 2023, and everyone except Bokoblins love it. Much like the previous part of the series, Breath of the Wild, it captivates players with incredible freedom of action in a large open world. However, it is even bigger and more diverse compared to Breath of the Wild. There's an incredible amount of content, detail, and charm to Tears of the Kingdom. Why? Well, have you ever heard of the 40-second rule, or about the invisible design, or the so-called gravity concept? You can check out the GDC 2017 talk where Satoru Takizawa and Takuhiro Dohta provide an in-depth look at how some of the convention-breaking mechanics were implemented in The Legend of Zelda. Or keep watching this video where I will briefly summarize and describe the mechanics and reasons behind the game's overwhelming success. With a game like that, the devil is always in the details, and there's much more than just 5 reasons why it is that good, but hey, 5 is a beautiful number to start with. I'll check out the feedback and we'll see later if we need more. Reason number 1. Seamless open world exploration. The open world is absolutely free to explore, however, even while exploring you will be drawn to key points that are required to advance the story. Nintendo's open world design team collected heatmap data to observe player flow, which was primarily concentrated on a few discrete paths. Why build out an entire open world when players only see a fraction of it? That is when the developers came up with the concept of gravity. You are not particularly guided anywhere, you are given tips. Instead of marking out a specific path somewhere, they would create these sort of funnels that direct the player to orbit around certain landmarks and points. Wherever you go or whatever you do, you will most likely find a landmark that attracts your attention. Traveling across Hyrule's vast map is a difficult task, with topography ranging from massive peaks to deep water-filled caverns. Tears of the Kingdom might have reused the Hyrule map, altering and adding details to update it, but instead, players are introduced to a more vibrant and densely populated Hyrule, as well as 2 new regions to explore: the skies above Hyrule and the perilous area below it known as the Depths. The game features new areas and game-changing skills, introducing a level of freedom not seen in the genre before. With a touch of your creativity, Link's skills easily become applicable to almost everything in Hyrule. Players can have a great time simply playing around with them. Even controversial aspects like the weapon durability encourage players to think outside the box to find ways to explore and survive in the real world, which creates new opportunities for interesting and engaging gameplay.
That looks interesting. Phew. One step at a time. What exactly happened?
Reason number 2. Creativity encouraging gameplay mechanics. Tears of the Kingdom might make you feel like a creative genius or make you overwhelmed by the creativity it expects from you as a player. But trust me, I'm not a genius myself, and as long as you keep experimenting, it only becomes more fun. Imagine the satisfaction when you built a cart out of wood, wheels, and portable fans to navigate through a complex rail system, or construct a battle tank to defeat a huge camp of enemies, or learn to create and operate a flying vehicle to get to places otherwise unreachable. It's a unique game that gives you the freedom to experiment and puts a lot of faith in you to complete the task at hand, which makes it a very personalized and challenging gaming experience by treating you like an adult and having faith in your ability to find solutions. The sandbox is bigger, richer, and somehow even more ambitious, with innovative new elements like vehicle construction, insane weapon making, and a redesigned Hyrule map with an overwhelming amount of depth, making the exploration almost addictive. Reason number 3, magical soundtrack and audio design. It is dynamic, minimalist, and emotionally resonating. One element that you might not notice is its invisible sound design, which consists of everything from the sound of Link's footfalls on different terrain to alterations in the combat theme depending on an enemy's difficulty level. Invisible sound design refers to the practice of creating audio elements in a way that enhances the overall experience without drawing explicit attention. In other words, you don't notice it, but it affects the gameplay by conveying the right mood or information. I encourage you to check out the video describing the invisible sound design in Zelda by Scruffy. I'll leave a link in the description. The game's music and sound design work together to create an immersive and atmospheric experience. From the gentle rustling of grass to the distant sounds of wildlife, the environmental audio enhances the sense of being within the game's expansive world of Hyrule. Reason number 4. Art and aesthetic. While making the game, Nintendo drew inspiration from various sources. Stylistically and thematically, one of the clearest influences is the work of Studio Ghibli, particularly Princess Mononoke, watch it if you still haven't, and Castle in the Sky. The music in the soundtrack and the fantastical creatures wandering in the realm, even the vibrant cel-shaded graphics, also helps make the comparison to Studio Ghibli's style. Tears of the Kingdom has an aesthetic style that will keep players coming back for years to come, even though it may not be the most realistic or visually impressive game on the market right now. This is one of the game's biggest advantages and is almost guaranteed to extend the game's life expectancy long ahead of the more realistic looking games, especially considering that the Switch is not even half as powerful as Xbox or PlayStation. Reason number 5. Abundance of content. At first, the new Zelda creates a deceptive impression of self-repetition. Here you have the same graphics, the same combat system, the same characters, and even the same Hyrule with all regions and villages preserved. But should you spend at least 2 hours in the game, which will turn into 20 with frightening speed, as the realization arises, there is so much content, including the content of Breath of the Wild, that it would be enough for 2 games. You can easily spend 100 hours or more without being bored. You can go up and start a journey through the Sky Islands, or you can go below and explore the depths. All of these new areas are pretty neatly integrated into the main storyline to give you time to get to know them, but at the same time, no one will force you to spend dozens of hours there doing all sorts of side activities. In this regard, the new Zelda still values your freedom and the right to choose. Thanks for watching the video. What do you think about the new Zelda? Do you agree with such high ratings? I would really love to know your opinion, and as always, don't forget to stay hydrated. Cheers everyone!